Tool Time made a video not too long ago about how often it is that when you get into arguments with theists, a lot of the time you find out you're arguing with someone who's not arguing in good faith. And what I've come to realize is that if you get into a debate with someone whose beliefs are based in faith, then their arguments will be in bad faith. Because ideally, one of the points of entering into a debate is to present your ideas for public scrutiny. In the best of circumstances, a debate is about learning. It's not about converting your audience to your point of view at all cost. But for religious people, a debate is just another venue for proselytism. It's not about people exchanging ideas about some issue and trying to come to a resolution. If you get into a debate with a theist, most of the time the only way resolution is possible is if he converts you. And William Lane Craig is a perfect example of this. As DPR Jones pointed out in his last video, William Lane Craig is not about finding truth, because he believes that he already has the truth. And he holds on to that regardless of any evidence or arguments that are presented to him. And I'm going to show you a clip of a William Lane Craig video that's been seen quite a few times, but I think that there's a hidden meaning in this clip that a lot of people aren't seeing.
And my view here is that the way in which I know Christianity is true is first and foremost on the basis of the witness of the Holy Spirit in my heart. And that this gives me a self-authenticating means of knowing that Christianity is true wholly apart from the evidence. And therefore, if in some historically contingent circumstances the evidence that I have available to me should turn against Christianity, I don't think that that controverts the witness of the Holy Spirit. In such a situation, I should regard that as simply a result of the contingent circumstances that I'm in, and that if I were to pursue this with due diligence and with time, I would discover that in fact the evidence, if I could get the correct picture, would support exactly what the witness of the Holy Spirit tells me.
So William Lane Craig's advice to fellow Christians is, regardless of any arguments you hear, regardless of how conclusive the evidence is, just keep believing in Christianity anyway. Because any evidence you see is going to be historically contingent, and you should wait until you have all of the evidence before you draw a conclusion. But wait a minute, the circumstances under which anybody ever has lived or ever will live are historically contingent. So what if over the course of your entire life the evidence for God never materializes? But even if evidence for God's existence does show up, it's going to be just as historically contingent as any evidence against God's existence. So what I think William Lane Craig means when he says wait until you have all the evidence is just wait until you're dead. Wait until you're standing in front of St. Peter, and then you'll know for sure. And William Lane Craig calls himself a philosopher, but this of course is not the epistemological position of any real philosopher, or of anybody who's sincerely looking for truth. Because William Lane Craig's advice to fellow Christians when they hear arguments or evidence against God's existence is no matter how irrefutable the arguments, no matter how conclusive the evidence, just keep going la 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 for the rest of your life.